and everyone on Zoom. At this time, Lisa Young will take a roll call to see if a quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, when I call your name, please respond. J.B. Shaw.
Present.
Thank you. Eric Massey.
Present.
Thank you. Simon Lara. Robert Vondenacker.
Present.
Thank you. Tracy Conaway.
Present.
I'm sorry, Tracy. I've got you. Nick Russo.
Present.
Thank you. Tim Wainscott. Paul Montes. Michael Carr.
Present.
Thank you. Chris Agno.
Here.
Thank you. Taylor Shadron.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Stratman.
Present.
Thank you. Sherry Collins.
Present.
Thank you. Carlos Rosales.
Present.
Thank you. Lori Zelda Stoller.
Present.
Thank you. Jackman Callis. Taylor Holston's proxy for Queen Creek. Patrick James. Wendy Kreitz. David Tavares. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
A quorum is now present. Good morning, members of the MAG Southwest Advisory Committee. This meeting is now called to order. For those around the table, please turn on your microphone when speaking. For those participating via Zoom, please state your name when making a comment or if you're asking a question. The MAG public comment process allows members of the public to comment on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction. If you would like to comment at today's meeting, please complete the request to speak form. MAG staff can assist with any questions you may have. If you parked in the garage, a validation stamp is available on the counter. If you purchased a transit ticket to come to the meeting, please see staff for a ticket. Hearing assisted devices are available for MAG staff. Our next item is the call to the attendance. This is the opportunity for public to comment on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda. Informational items or for items on the agenda for discussion but not for action. 15 minutes will be provided for the call to the attendance unless the chair requests an exception to this limit. I have received no requests to speak for the call to the audience. MAG also provides the opportunity for members of the public to submit written comments via the MAG website. Any comments received 2 hours prior to the meeting have been shared with committee members in advance of the meeting for consideration and will be included in the formal meeting minutes. MAG staff, have we received any online written comments for the call to the audience?
Mr. Chair, no written comments have been received.
All right. Our next item is approval of the June 10th, 2025, the meeting minutes. Does any member of the committee have any questions? All right. Prior to approval of the meeting minutes, there's an opportunity for members of the public to comment. I have received no requests for this agenda item. MAG staff, have we received any online written comments for this item?
Mr. Chair, no written comments have been received.
All right. Is there a motion to approve agenda item number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. We have a motion from Sherry. Is there a second?
Robert Vondenacker, City of Buckeye, second.
All right. We have a second from Robert. A roll call vote will be taken at this time by Lisa Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, when I call your name, please state your vote. J.B. Shaw.
Aye.
Thank you. Eric Massey.
Aye.
Thank you. Simon Lara.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lara, we didn't hear you.
Aye.
Thank you. Robert Vandenacker,
Aye.
thank you. Tracy Conaway,
Aye.
thank you. Nick Russo,
Aye.
thank you. Tim Wayne Scott, Paul Montes, Michael Carr,
Aye.
thank you. Chris Año,
Aye.
thank you. Taylor Shadron,
Aye.
thank you. Robert Stretch,
Aye.
thank you.
Someone made a stored procedure.
Sherry Collins,
Execute.
Aye.
thank you. Carlos Rosales,
Click on it.
Aye.
thank you. Lori Zelda Stoller,
Basically generate.
Aye.
thank you. Chapman Callis,
One level up from that is what I'm pulling from. They'll get you the same results. And it already exists.
who is it?
I'm having connection.
Chapman Callis,
Like the table itself exists. Thanks. Probably.
Patrick James, Taylor Holston,
Aye.
thank you. Wendy Kreitz,
Aye.
thank you. Chair Parks,
Aye.
thank you. David Tavares,
Aye.
thank you. Did I miss anyone? Mr. Chair, we have a unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will go to number, item agenda number 4, which is the Arizona Students Recycling Use of Technology. This item is on the agenda for information and for discussion. We will first have Robert Vandenacker from the city of Buckeye. He will introduce this item, and then we'll have Jared from AZ Strut. He'll present this item.
Well, thank you very much. This is Robert Vandenacker, City of Buckeye. So I had actually heard of AZ Strut and actually ran into the representative there at a meeting where we were able to just talk about the different activities that they perform and the value that they perform in recycling e-waste and having a good flow of e-waste and the value of the flow of e-waste. And I thought it would really be of value to have a good presentation to our group on this opportunity that I didn't know existed, and apparently it's been around for quite some time. So anyway, without further ado, you can go ahead with that presentation.
Thank you very much. And I believe it was a circular economy or circular AZ event in Sedona that we
That's
met.
what it was. Thank you. Yes.
It was a good time. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me here today. I'm very excited to be here and to talk with some of the most important people in my industry that we do here. So thank you for this opportunity. AZ Strut does stand for Arizona Students Recycling Used Technology. It is often mistaken for car parts, because AZ Strut, I've literally had emails asking for like, can you order some struts for a Mustang or whatever? So yeah, it's an acronym, Strut Students Recycling Used Technology. We've been around for quite some time, but we're still what I call the best kept secret in the state of Arizona when it comes to e-waste. Sorry, I didn't realize I had timings enabled on this, so I'm gonna be going back and forth on some slides. So we were created way back in the late 90s by a joint venture of Intel and Motorola, two big heavy hitters in the community. And they realized that there was a lot of e-waste that was being generated and it was going to be a problem. Also, they wanted to develop the future workforce and make sure that there was an educational component to how do we manage and deal with this potential e-waste and make sure that stuff is responsibly reused or recycled. So our mission, I'm not going to read our mission because I'll put everyone to sleep in very short order. But basically, it's about e-waste responsibility, circular economy, and education and workforce development. It's kind of the short Cliff Notes version of that. So we do a lot of turnover at our facility, not in terms of staff, but in terms of quantity of items. So we take This is rough numbers, but these are relatively updated numbers from about maybe a month ago is when we last checked these numbers. 19,000 plus pounds a week comes into our doors, which is quite a bit. Sorry, like I said, timing on that. A lot of it is individual drop-offs. People from the community can bring any of their e-waste to us. And by e-waste, I'll talk about what things we collect in a little bit, because it's more than just old computers, but that's what people think of when they think of us. We also have our own box trucks, so we'll go out and collect larger items. And we are also in the communities. We have drop-off locations. We've partnered with all of the Data Doctors locations in the state, as well as most Batteries Plus Bulbs locations. So we make it easy for the community to get rid of this stuff and keep it out of landfills. Of all of that stuff that comes into our pipeline, we have about 147 computers a week that we can get refurbished and get out into the community. And of all of the weight of everything that comes in, over 8,000 pounds is something that is reusable. And that's stuff that was destined for a landfill, which is pretty neat. Everything else is recycled. We have a zero landfill policy with anything that is brought to our organization. And all of our downstream recyclers are R2 certified. So we ensure that we do that responsibly. The biggest concern that we get, one of the things that stops most people from wanting to donate to us is, what about my data? I'm sure that probably comes up quite a bit, right? Especially because we deal with computers. When people hear the name Hazy Strut and they hear Arizona students recycling used technology, they're like, wait, so high school students are going to be playing with my hard drive and my data, right? No. If that was the case, they probably really would just try to erase your data with a eraser like in the picture there. No, rather what we do is we do that in-house. We do have sophisticated equipment for that. We even have a security cage inside of our warehouse. So anything with data that comes into our possession goes into that security cage, and the employees wipe the data on there up to the NIST 888 standard. And if the device is still usable, we may still use it, but after it's received that unretrievable designation through the NIST standard, or we destroy. And, really old mechanical drives, that 80 gigabytes, we're not going to reuse those. Those will be destroyed and recycled appropriately. And we even offer just an extra level of security and peace of mind for some organizations if they want a certificate of destruction, something they can keep on file that says, hey, we've got our rear ends covered here. Here's a certificate of destruction. So we offer that service as well when asked in advance with certain clients and customers. So we make sure that we take that seriously, because otherwise we wouldn't get any waste. We get that. Our location is in Tempe. It's a relatively newer location to us. We used to be in Mesa, but we have more space now, and we're even more centrally located, which I really like. But let's talk about all the things we do take, because like I'd mentioned, people think I can only get rid of laptops and desktops. We want to be all sorts of any metallic type e-waste stuff. I mean, we're not going to take a whole fridge or a dishwasher, but if it'll fit on your countertop in your kitchen, yeah, we'll take that too. So we take all those. Everyone has a mystery box of wires at their house, right? Am I right? You do. Like some old USB cables, you don't even have that type of USB device anymore. It's like mini USB that we don't use. We'll take all that off your hands. We'll take all those remote controls that you have that TV for anymore. VCRs, film projectors. You wouldn't believe the random kind of fun stuff that comes in our doors. But we'll take the printers, some plastic waste that people have a hard time getting rid of. We'll take that. We take televisions. We even take the old CRT televisions. Now, those ones are the only item that we actually have to charge to collect, because I'm sure that if any room knows about that product, it's this room right here. With all the materials in there, the process of properly deconstructing those items are a little more involved. So we have a pass-through cost on those. It's, I think, currently $1 a pound, which is pretty reasonable. And it is just a pass-through cost. Everything else, though, we collect without charge to any of the donors in the community. So yeah, that's a short list that you could get from our website if you'd like to see the different kind of things that we can collect. And this is from, again, agencies, companies, organizations, or individuals. We really will take it from any source. So what about the impact? So that's the last 4 years of our collected data, and you can see a pretty precipitous growth there. In our small warehouse we had back in Mesa, We were less than 3,000 square feet, and we did over 1 million pounds last year in that space. With our newer space, we're hoping to increase that number even more and get more outreach. But what's really unique and special, because everyone does, oh, not everyone, but a lot of people understand the concept of just getting, electronics refurbished or recycled. Like everyone here in that industry, we get that. What makes us unique is the second part of our mission, that educational component. We work with schools and we make sure the youth is educated. And I think that's really important. So we have schools as partners, which I don't think a lot of other recyclers do. And that's what makes us, I think, kind of special. We have about 50 schools that we're partnered with across the state. And we are statewide, even though we're here locally. We do have initiatives, and we worked with organizations like ADEQ to reach out into those rural communities, and we're continuing that effort as well. So we really want to service statewide. But in our schools, these students, they'll get anything that we believe can be refurbished once we've wiped the data. And so they get the experience. They get the knowledge. They get their hands on. And it's all grade levels. If it's a younger grade, then what we do is we go in there and we bring in old desktops, like, Windows 95 desktops, and the beige color is getting a little yellowy, right? We've seen that. So those, well, they might not be used as a good computer anymore, but they're still a good educational tool. So we bring them into the classrooms and they can deconstruct it, help us deconstruct, and they understand what the components are. And that also helps us with the recycling component, because now when the parts are deconstructed, they can be more efficiently recycled. And it's been a very successful program. So even the younger grades have a way to participate and get involved, which is really neat. So those are a couple students that are partnered up with us. This is what we call our Techie Lab program. And so those are students at EVIT, and they're working on a DVR system that was brought in, that they could learn how to set up a DVR system, which is a digital video recorder surveillance system type thing. So like I'd said, it's not just desktops and laptops. That's a big bulk of it. But they learn all sorts of technology, and they walk out with a lot of experience. Another initiative, and this isn't really e-waste specific, but another important initiative that we've had recently is our internet lending program, because we've always felt that there's a lot of things you need to really be connected in today's modern society. You need to have the device, and that's always been one of our big focuses, is getting that device refurbished and put back into the use of the community. Second thing you need to know how to use that device, because what good is a device if you can't use it? So we get the device into their hands. But the third thing that was missing in that tripod was, well, you have the device and you know how to use it, but you're not connected to anybody. So you need to be able to get online. So our latest initiative is our internet lending program. Last year, the initiative, the ACP, Affordable Connectivity Program, it expired, and it left a lot of people disconnected. So we have a new program. It is not necessarily funded entirely by grants. Right now, it's 100% sustainable as is, without additional funding. We could grow faster with more grants and other funding, but it is actually sustainable without that, which is one of the key factors I wanted, especially in today's grant economy. So this device is at a pass-through cost of $35 a month, lent out to communities in need. And the neat thing is, because the way we have this structured, it actually could go to anybody. You don't have to prove eligibility. We even have organizations that are using this for their office. Our office is running off of one of these. It's not a little mobile hotspot. Again, not totally about e-waste necessarily, but it's something we do. And those devices that we lend out, we own those devices. Those are used devices. Those are devices that also would have been sent to a landfill. And we pull those out, and they're still very usable. And they're Wi-Fi 6, they're high standard. 64 devices can be connected to your house at once through one of these. So it's not garbage. It's just something that could have been e-waste. So kind of exciting. So all of this put together, just so you can put a button on this, my kind of elevator pitch whenever I meet an individual who has an organization that might have any e-waste, large or small. You take your IT devices that were once assets and now they've become liabilities. You have to get rid of these things at some point. What do you do with it? So we can take those and make them assets once again, because as a nonprofit charity, we will put it to good use. This is mostly government agencies. You're not worried about tax write-offs, but it is an incentive to businesses, because it is a tax write-off for them to donate to that. Anything that comes to us, responsibly handled. So you have that assurance. And then our waste goes out and then actually benefits the community. So it's more than just handling the waste. It's also turning it into a positive. So you get rid of of a liability. We get to educate the community, and then they get to benefit from using it. It's a win-win-win. Personally, I think it's a slam dunk. That's why I'm with this organization. So that really is my entire little pitch, or just kind of who we are. So now you know who we are, and I hope that I can find an opportunity to work with everyone and anyone here to help you and help our community at large. So thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jared. Is there any members that have questions or comments for Jared?
Bobby, I have a question. Jared, thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
I have a question. So one of the things you said is that you get these devices back into the community. So I just wanted to know a little bit more about how they're deployed back into the community. You have partnerships with schools. Do you have a, like a shop people can come in and buy them? Do you lend them out to students? Is it, I saw 2 colleges on there. So was it free to them? So just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. I don't normally get into that detail with that pitch there, so I'm glad you gave me the opportunity. We collaborate with schools as one of our primary distributions. We've given out, I think last year alone, I think about 5,000 devices went through schools. But that's 5 of like the 10,000. So we also partnership with other organizations. So last year, Welcome to America, the refugee program, they take the legal refugees and help them get established. We've given them thousands of devices as well for their clientele.
And can I just clarify, you've given them free of charge?
It depends. Most of these are free. So the 5,000 went to the schools. The ones we gave to Welcome to America, those were all free of charge, yes. We do offer a way for people who are not connected through referrals or for other organizations. We don't have like a big store per se, because we're really not a store, but we do have a little remarket opportunity to help people directly. And those have we call it a remarketing fee, because there's a lot of cost that goes into getting these devices refurbished again. Sometimes we have to get components, and we have to do a lot of Frankensteining and the labor and then the shipping. And so it's very reasonable, though. I think the most expensive remarketing fee we have is like a couple $100 for like a really nice, very Windows 11 compatible, friendly computer. And that's for regular people of the public, not usually the communities in need. And we also do grant opportunities. And if the grant gives us a certain population to cover, then yeah, we give it out to that population and there is no cost. Thank you. Good question.
Hey, Jared. So in Surprise, we're out there a little bit on the west side. So individuals getting their stuff to you is not as, I'm gonna assume it's not as easy, but we have our house hazardous waste every month that we do. Is that something where you guys would come out with the box truck and take the bulk that we collect?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one reason I was excited to speak to this group is we do collection events all over, and we really enjoy doing, especially in the Maricopa area. That's kind of our home. So we've done them with church groups, neighborhoods, and we'd love to do them with larger organizations. So if there's a collection event opportunity, please let us know. We have big box trucks, we have the big bins. We can come to you, set that up, establish protocols. We would love to have that. And again, the community, we can also advertise with the community our drop-off locations throughout the valley. We do have a map on our website too now that has sort of, you can put in the address of where you are and you can see all of our official drop-off locations and find one near you.
Is there anything on? Is there anyone else who has a comment for Jared?
David Tavares, City of Tempe. Jared, on your website, is there a list of electronics that you take at your facility? Is it available there? I knew you had a slide on there. You had a list of things, but it went by pretty quick. So that's everything that you take. So is it primarily everything that has a cord?
Pretty much. Yeah. If it plugs into your home, we'll take it. We do also server type things like server rooms. So if you're dispatching your just the server racks, just the metal, because that metal is still very much recyclable. We work with our recycling partners. But yeah, if it's a consumer electronic, if it plugs in, we'll take it. Like I said, the exception to that would be a full refrigerator or an oven. We don't quite do appliances, but everything short of that.
Okay, and cost. I know you mentioned something about $1 a pound or something of that. What is the cost for things that let's say that aren't as easy or accessible to be recycled? What is the cost?
If you bring it to us, there is no cost unless it's that CRT television, the ones that have mercury and powdered lead in them. Those things are the $1 a pound. But any of the other devices, if you drop off at our facility, there is no cost. If we pick it up from you, there might be a small pickup fee, but typically if the value of what we pick up, even just the recycling value, if the metals in there can justify our cost, we don't charge even for pickups. We will rarely if it's like small pickup or if it's all plastic. That it's harder to recycle. There's no money in those very much. So for the most part, yeah, it's pretty much a free service.
Okay, so last question. How do you like to receive it, or how do you want the materials in? Gaylord boxes? How's the exchange with that? Like if you have them in big boxes on pallets, would you swap them out for, in other words, we bring in, you give back, or how does that kind of work to you? Delivery, receiving?
Thank you for asking that. We have a forklift. We have the ability to take palletized Gaylords. We do work with Gaylords on pallets a lot. That's how we work with all of our downstream recyclers as well. We could do an exchange thing. For smaller offices, we'll do linen carts, actually, the kind you see at hotels. They make surprisingly good e-waste collection bins as well. So we'll roll those in and kind of do a swap with those with a number of our partners that we have an ongoing relationship with. But yeah, we love palletized Gaylords. That is probably the easiest to work with, except for like linen carts on wheels.
Last question. Do things need to be separated, or can they be commingled? The items be commingled?
Oh yeah, they can be commingled. We have a number of volunteers and employees. We have a mix of both. Every Tuesday and Thursday is our sort days, and we sort. And now it makes it faster. It's a little easier for us if it comes in separated. But if that's a barrier to donating to us, we've eliminated that.
Excellent. Thank you for taking my questions.
Thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you, Jared. We will go to our next item on the agenda, item number 5, with ADEQ and their recycling grant program. This item on the agenda is for information and for discussion, and will be presented by JB Shaw from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a big fan of AZ Strut. As many of you know, they did win one of our grants a couple of years ago. So they did some great work in the rural areas. And I'm here to talk about our recycling grant program. Grants are due today. So as you can probably believe, my inbox is just blowing up with questions, with applications, with all kinds of stuff going on this morning. So I am a bit distracted, but I am here to kind of give you the quick version of this presentation. We do have this presentation on our website as well, recorded from one of our workshops that we did a couple weeks after the request for applications went out. The slides are up there as well if you'd like to take a look. And then all the resources, everything you could ever want for this program is all up there as well. And some descriptions of our past 12 projects that we awarded a couple years ago. So feel free to take a look. But as many of you probably know, this program was established through the Recycling Act of 1990. So there's this 25-cent per ton landfill fee that funding, some of that goes towards the recycling grant funds. And up until a couple of years ago, it had been a long time since we received these, but we are now getting them for the second year out of the last 3. And it does look pretty promising as we move into the future. So next slide, please. So here's our timeline. This is what we're shooting for this year. If you were part of the group that applied 2 years ago, this was you had a lot less time to implement projects, but we have the program rebuilt now. We have the Recycling Advisory Committee in place who reviews all these applications. So we kicked things off July 15th with our request for applications. Then we had our workshops just a week later. Just wanted to make sure we got those out so that everyone could get their questions answered or have that information. Applications are due today by 3 p.m. So if you are turning one of those in, make sure it is before 3 p.m. or we cannot accept it. And then, so once this happens, which is part of what I'm starting to do, is we will review them for completeness. We will put them into a share file for our committee, who will then begin to review all these applications. We've got over 30 at the moment. Last time we did this, we had 61 applications requesting almost $9 million. So we'll have more of that data available as this role is progressing. But we hope to start reviewing and evaluating in October and hope to award by early November. It might be mid-November. It just depends on how many applications come in and you know, how much time that takes our committee to review. So it really, it's hard to pick a date that these will get awarded, but we are shooting for early to mid-November, trying to beat the holidays. But if it has to, we can always look at early December as well. And that would then give folks till June 30th. So those who are awarded would have till June 30th to spend all the funding and receive goods and services. So you need to have both happen before June 30th for us to be able to reimburse you. After June 30th, projects will continue and they will go a year from the start date. So that start date being when the contract is signed and our notice to proceed letter is provided to the grantees who were awarded. And from there, they have a full year to complete the project. It's just we only have the fiscal year limitation on spending the money by June 30th and receiving goods and services. So, and that link there at the bottom, that is to all the resources I mentioned, videos, everything that you need for the program. Next slide. So eligible applicants is pretty much anyone, private organizations, nonprofits, educational institutions, political subdivisions, tribal governments. The main caveat being you need to be conducting the business that you're applying for in Arizona. So next slide. So there are 3 different categories within our grant program. The waste reduction assistance is your infrastructure and equipment. So next slide. So that is capped at $250,000 for all applicants, unless you're establishing a new end market. And when we say end market, we're not saying collections. We're saying you will actually take collected material, process it, and potentially create new materials as well. So more of the processing and manufacturing end of the circle. Just to make that more clear, because we have had confusion on that in the past. And so always just make sure that you're requesting the allowable amount. Sometimes people ask for more and we're uncertain that they're going to be able to accomplish their project if they are not awarded that amount. So next slide. So here's some ideas on examples of what can be done under this project. A big question I get under this one is What if I'm doing, I'm going to set up a recycling program. So I'm buying all this equipment, but I also want to market to my residents that this new program's happening and what can be accepted in the program. And so marketing can fall under this. The education and outreach portion of creating a recycling program can definitely fall under a WRA grant. Just the majority of the grant is usually purchasing the infrastructure needed to start the program, and then the marketing is more of a side project to educate the public. But if it's heavily education and outreach, then you want to look at the next category. So next slide. So the Waste Reduction Initiative through Education, that's our RIGHT grant. That is the education and outreach grant. And that is where all the that I was discussing. So if you're doing like some sort of educational campaign, this is where you'll want to be. So next slide. And this one caps at $100,000. So just make sure you stay under that. Next slide. And again, here's some examples of what that could be. Curriculum, workshops, just whatever you would consider education and outreach. Next slide. Then our last category is the research and development. So more studies, waste audits, things like that. So next slide. So again, this one's capped at 100,000. Next slide. And these are some of the things you could potentially do under that. So again, like your feasibility studies, market development, waste audits, all kinds of stuff like that. And always remember that you have a year to do this project, but you only have till June 30th to spend the money. So if you're hiring a consultant, they would just need to know that their portion of the work that you're paying them for has to be done before June 30th, because you won't be able to pay them after that. Next slide. So important notes, we will award multiple grants. How many just depends on what comes in. And a couple of years ago, our advisory committee actually awarded several of the projects less money so that they could spread that further and award more projects. So that's always a possibility. You can apply for more than one project. Just make sure you have the capacity to run those projects if you're awarded all of those projects. And you can't start the project until you've had a grant agreement executed, and we have to send you this notice to proceed letter. Anything started before that, we are not able to reimburse for. So that's why we ask that you wait till you've got everything in place and that we've given you the green light to go. So payments are cost reimbursement. We definitely encourage partnerships, and existing personnel can be included. The caveat being that that personnel has to be part of the project. They have to be the key personnel involved in that project. And you can look at, on our website, we have our terms and conditions. Those you would definitely want to read through, as well as our grant manual, just to make sure of all the things that you're going to be responsible for. Next slide. No match requirements this year as well, so we won't even go into that. So next slide. Next slide. Next slide. And so again, important things to remember. I will sit down with you as far as how the payments will be structured. You'll fill out this task and payment schedule if you're awarded a grant, and that will just kind of line up your tasks per quarter and then identify what you feel you're going to spend per quarter, just so our business and finance team has an idea of what to expect. Again, payments are a reimbursement basis, and you have a year to complete the project, but You must spend and receive all goods and services by June 30th. So have to say that many times just so no one misses that. But next slide. So in the application, next slide, we have these 5 areas that you'll have 4 pages to address each of these items. And that QR code or the website below is where all this can be found. Next slide. So this just gives you a basic idea. This section is 40 points. These are all the things that are involved. And then letters of support should be submitted with the application. Those are an allowable attachment. So next slide. This is the next biggest section, your outputs and outcomes at 30 points. So these first 2 sections are about 70, they are 70 points. So make sure you're paying attention to those. Next slide. And then we get into the programmatic capability. This is where you would identify key personnel and want to submit resumes for those personnel involved in the project at 10 points for that section. Next slide. 10 points for the timeline. We do provide a fillable form on our website. So just making sure you identify that, as well as the 4 quarterly reports and the 1 final report, which is usually due a month after the 4th quarterly report. Next slide. Budget description, that's 10 points. So we do provide a budget form, and you are allowed an additional 2 pages for a budget narrative. So that way you can kind of explain, if you need to, what those various costs are. Next slide. And so for all of this, we have, again, another form online, an online checklist. It goes over the grant application, the disclosure form, that narrative outline, which was those 5 sections I just went over, which include the timeline and budget, and making sure you have the budget description. All this is due today by 3 p.m. For future notice, we do for nonprofits, rural and tribal communities, Local First. I think Taylor's on the call today, but Local First has a great resource as far as free grant writing for those communities or the nonprofits. So we always want to let them know that, that can help them compete for the potential of funding for this grant cycle. So next slide. All right, that is everything. That is the quick version of it, and I can take any questions.
Thank you, JB. Is there anyone that has any comments or questions for JB about this?
They're all working hard on their applications, so it's okay.
All right, thank you, JB. We'll
you.
go on to item number 6. This is a conversation on on-street parking, impact on solid waste and recycling collection services. This item on the agenda is for information and for discussion. Robert Vandenacker from the city of Buckeye will begin this discussion. The time is now yours, Robert.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't have a lot to add to this. I had thought that actually our city was going to be having some significant action related to on-street parking, but we have hit a couple of roadblocks. The primary is just making sure that we're moving in the right direction regarding the on-street parking and just the challenge that we have with the trash collection. We also have street sweeping and just the challenge of associated with street sweeping with vehicles on the roads. Starting the discussion without a whole heck of a lot to say, other than that our city is looking right now to look at all of our streets that are 28 feet wide and shorter for the curb to curb, and working on trying to determine if we're going to be putting signs up for only requiring only one side of the street parking. I don't know if, I think that a few municipalities may have mentioned that they have gone in that direction. So that's that's where we're at right now, is we're just trying to figure out if we're going to do that, and if we do go in that direction, what are the pain points that other municipalities have had in doing anything similar to that and bringing that to the population.
Okay, thank you, Robert. We now get the opportunity for the committee members to share information on the challenges, potential solutions regarding on-street parking impacts on solid waste and recycling and collection services. So I'll begin. For City Surprise, we've had challenges with on-street parking. I actually went and did a presentation to our planning and our zoning commission committee and talked about the three challenges, which is they keep having the streets be less wide. They keep shrinking. The lot sizes keep shrinking, and the amount of parking available on their property, which means they don't have room on their driveways, because the code is that they have to have 2 parking for each lot, and they count the garage as 2, and so the driveways are now 5 feet long or something like that, and the cost to live is increasing, and so more people have friends or family members that are at their house, kids that are in college or there, or newly married, they can't afford, so they're with their parents, and so there's more people at houses, and our trucks aren't getting any smaller, and so we're having these issues continuously, and so we talked about, plus they're putting a lot of landscape right on the edge of every property, and so you got trees and stuff in the way, and so we talked to them about, you know, we need to eliminate some of those. And one thing we've done is we put one of our supervisors in the community development meetings, and so every time there's a meeting with a developer, we have a representative in there, and we've worked with our team internally on their design standards of what is required. And so now anytime there is a developer for residential and for commercial, they get a packet from the city, and within that has all of these solid waste requirements for hammerheads, for if they have a 6-pack, if they have a cul-de-sac, if the street is less than, I think, 30 feet or something like that, of what is required. We've also worked with our PD department on what they need to help us out, because we've tried to use them in the past of like, hey, there's a car here, it's in the way, and they're like, well, there's nothing we can do unless there's signage. So one of the things we've done is I forget the exact width, but if a street is less than a certain width, we require no parking on trash days on one side of the road, and we put up street signs that says no parking in between these 2 signs on trash days. And then we have on the curbs, if it's a 6-pack, which is the shared driveway with like the townhomes, is we put a curb, we put a trash and recycle curb stamp in the curbing so that people can see how far apart their cans need to be, and that they need to design their community with that in regards. So that's kind of some of the stuff we've done. It's not eliminating all the challenges, but it sure helps with awareness, and it's helping allow us to have some teeth that if we're having issues, we can get our cops involved, and they can help with the tagging of cars and the education. So that's just a little bit from our end that we've done.
That's actually pretty fabulous. I'd love to see some of those solid waste standards that you're bringing to your to your applicants for development? Because I think that would be something that we would really be able to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. I can send those over to you.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Bobby, this is great that you guys put all of these measures in place, and you may have already answered it, but if the communities you're putting one-sided parking on collection days and things like that and markers, so the barrels are that far apart, and you said then PD goes out and will enforce it and tag it if they don't follow those?
So that just allows them the ability to do so because there's signage, and they'll go at our request if we're having collection issues of repeat cars that are continuously in the zones that they're not allowed to park on trash days. We'll get addresses, or we'll get their plate number. We'll take pictures of the car, and then after 2 or 3 weeks, we'll send that over to our contact at PD, and then they'll start going out there to enforce it.
Thank you.
Robert, David Tavares over in Tempe. Of course, we don't have any issue like that here at ASU. No, I'm kidding. You know, we have that happen all the time. So we do have parking permits for certain areas, which allows only those cars that have a permit to be able to park. And we also have where collection is on one side of the street. So, and that happens primarily where there's cul-de-sacs. And there's a lot of them right around ASU. So it's in some of those areas that we have those issues are being redeveloped now. And so we are working on site plan review with those developments to make sure that there's adequate parking on site and not on the street. But we do run into that quite a bit. So we do what somewhat similar to what Robbie said over in Surprise. We do review those, but we also have it with the permit. So that helps alleviate some of those issues with on street parking with those that don't actually live in that area.
Yeah, so just go back and highlight. I mean, preventing it is the best part, and while it's not the easiest thing to tell these developers, no, you're not allowed to do that. Having our team a part of the first concept, second concept, and telling them, hey, this is going to be a huge challenge for us and for fire long term. You guys need to work with us on trying to maybe tweak some things that we're okay with so that we don't have any issues long term.
Thank you. Yeah, the parking permits, I don't know that we could swing that in Buckeye, but collection on one side of the street certainly does sound like an opportunity as well. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that has a comment or wanted to give an update on challenges that they currently have and what they've done? All right, we'll continue on. We'll go to item number 7 on the agenda. The MAG Solid Waste Advisory Committee Chair and Vice Chair appointments. They are ending on December 31st, 2025. This item is on the agenda only for information. The Chair and the Vice Chair appointments of the MAG Solid Waste Advisory Committee are due to expire on December 31st, 2025. According to the MAG Committee operating policies and procedures, the officers for the technical committees serve 2-year terms with succession of positions occurring through the ascending order of officers. The policies and procedures also state that the chair and vice chair must be from a MAG member agency. The vice chair will ascend to the chair position, and a new vice chair will be approved by the MAG Regional Council Executive Committee. Letters of interest are being solicited for a new vice chair, preferably by a West Valley or Central Valley member agency for purposes of a regional balance. The letters of interest are requested to be submitted by September 30th, 2025. Please refer to today's our meeting agenda packet for more information. All right, we'll go to item number 8, request for future agenda items. Are there any requests from the membership for an item on a future agenda?
Mike Carr, City of Glendale. Yeah, I'd like to discuss and talk with others and get other opinions on lithium ion batteries, how we're dealing with those, what we're doing for recycling, collection, storage, kind of get the group's input on that.
Awesome, thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, we will continue on to item number 9, which will be comments from the committee. This is an opportunity will be provided for committee members to present a brief summary of current events. Again, the committee is not allowed to propose, to discuss, or to deliberate or take action at the meeting on any matter in the summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. Again, we're just here to update and not here for a conversation at this part. All right, we'll roundtable and we begin with City of Mesa.
I have no comments.
All right, I'll turn over to Taylor from Local First Arizona.
Local First is partnered with the City of Phoenix for climate action plan convenings. So we have 3 more left. So just if anyone across Maricopa, if you happen to know or work with any locally owned businesses that operate in Phoenix, please make sure they know that it's really important that the city hears from them about how climate change, especially in like the waste space, is affecting their businesses and what solutions they want to see from the city, how they'd like to partner with the city and things like that. If anyone's interested in getting the next 3 registration links, there's one tonight, one on Thursday this week, and the one on September 17th. They're all between 6 to 7:30 p.m. So just email me at Taylor, TAILER, @localfirstaz.com. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Is there anyone from the city of Buckeye that would like to give an update?
No additional updates at this time.
All right, how about these? Katie Chandler?
Hi. Yeah, we're just we're doing a pilot program with the mill food recyclers / composters. We're doing a pilot program for our department. It's working well so far, and hopefully we'll be able to expand it to other city facilities. And other than getting ready for the fall events that everybody participates in, I have nothing else to share.
Thank you, Tracy. How about for Mirage? Is there any updates you guys like to give?
Thank you, Chair. There's no updates at this time.
Thank you. How about Glendale?
No updates at this time.
All right. How about is someone from Peoria on the call? How about Tempe?
Thank you, Chair. Just want to mention that the City of Tempe has moved their solid waste and fleet operations to their brand new location off the 143. So it's the Tempe Municipal Operations Center. So we've moved into a brand new building that's just been completed. Approximately $20 million building that will now house both our solid waste section and our fleet section. Our fleet section is now enclosed and indoors and has air conditioning. So our fleet folks are no longer working in EVAP, they are working in air conditioning. And all of our operations have moved now to this new location.
Awesome, thank you. Is there anyone from the city of Phoenix on the call that would like to have an update?
Oh, sure, Chair. This is Lori Zelda Stellar. Not much to update other than Phoenix is embarking on reviewing its rate. And so we're convening our solid waste rate advisory committee October 20th to really dive into our financials. And we are looking to seek a rate adjustment for next fiscal year. So we're busy over here working through that.
Hey, Glory, anyone from the city of Scottsdale that would like to update? All right, I don't think I saw or heard anyone from Avondale, but is anyone from Avondale that would like to update?
No updates at this time.
Thank you, Simon. How about the town of Gilbert? All right, I'll do the update for surprise. We have moved from 2 house hazardous waste events a year to 3. Now we're doing one every month, trying to get as many opportunities for people to get their hazardous waste out. So we don't do it for 2 months in the summer, but we'll begin those this month in September and going back to a once a week at home collection that we do every month now. So that's kind of something that we've really worked on updating and giving people more opportunities to get their hazardous waste out of their garages and their homes. So that's what we have for surprise. Is there anyone else that I haven't called that would like to give an update? All right. Our next meeting of the Solid Waste Advisory Committee will be on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025 at 10 a.m. with no further business. Today's meeting is adjourned.